Welcome back, everyone, to week 4 of our Trauma Informed Yoga for Better Sleep series. Last week, we started our focus on the body and releasing any stored tension or activation in the upper body. And this week, we turn our focus towards the lower body. And in particular, while we're working on the entire low body, we are going to focus on the psoas muscle. And if you haven't heard of the psoas before, it's spelled P-S-O-A-S, and it is an inner hip flexor that goes from our lower spine, the lumbar region of our spine, crosses in front, extends over the pelvis, and then attaches at the femur, our upper leg bones. And the reason we're focusing on that is it is often a muscle that is referred to in any type of trauma recovery for the body because it is activated in our fight, flight, response system. And so while it is just as important to have a strong psoas as a loosened psoas, right, creating balance, it is for most of us a very tight and constricted muscle. And when we are repetitively in that fight or flight response, we can have a very tight psoas muscle, and that leads to further symptoms of trouble with our mood as well, especially in anxiety and experiences of anxiety. So psoas muscle is very important to help release, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is really stretching and releasing that muscle, as well as just getting a good lower body stretch, all the while focusing on winding down, creating rest for our entire nervous system, and just taking time for self-care, so nurturance, and meeting ourselves where we are today. So I am excited to continue the series, and whenever you're ready, you can hop on your mats and we'll get started. So for our practice, you may wish to have a couple of blocks handy, especially one block or a pillow. But if you have one block, that'd be great. 2 blocks if you want them. And then either your stacked blankets or a big pillow or a couple of pillows, something that can provide lift. Because we'll be using that later on. And once you have those props ready, I invite you to come to a comfortable seated space, settling in the sits bones, anchoring through both. Hands maybe resting on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes or to find your soft, open gaze. And begin to connect with your breath, expanding through your inhales, steadying your exhales. As you turn your attention inside and to this moment. And as you welcome yourself to this sacred space and sacred time. Notice how you're showing up, non-judgment, compassion, and curiosity. Might even just name in your mind how you're feeling. Maybe filling in the blank. I am feeling. Fill in the blank. And then thank yourself for showing up today. Knowing that is a If you would like to set an intention or heart focus for your practice today, Allow that to come to your mind's eye in the form of a word, phrase, image, or point of gratitude. And as you become ready, I invite you to place both hands at your heart center, palms placed together, thumbs maybe resting on your sternum as you take a full breath in and a full breath out. Lovely. If your eyes are closed, you're welcome to just flutter them open, orientate again to the space around you, not feeling the need to rush. And then you can, if you're not there already, bring palms facing down on the knees. And I invite you just to begin to rotate slowly around the base of your spine, around the tailbone. In this mindful, peaceful motion, following your pacing and rhythm, allowing yourself to move as you will, knowing there's no right or wrong here. And you can reverse your circle if you wish. Great, we'll begin to settle those circles back into a place of stillness. And from here, we're just going to take a version of something called cat-cow. And from here, you're just going to lift the tailbone out as you open the heart with an in-breath. And with an exhale, I invite you to tuck the tailbone in. Maybe you're curling around the heart space. So it could be a very subtle motion, might be exaggerated if you prefer that. And just continue that a couple more times. Tucking in the tailbone and the heart, and then expanding through the heart as you lift the tailbone. One more round. And then you can return to a neutral spine and pelvis and just begin to almost rock on the hips a little bit. Great. From here, we're going to begin to face over towards the right leg and then begin to fold just as much as you'd like to today. Well, if you want to go a little bit deeper into the hips, it just depends on how your hips are feeling today. You might even take your front leg on top of your bottom leg, coming into a fire log, and that's just going to get a deeper outer hip stretch. Just an option. And we'll come back to that fold. Focusing your breath towards the outer hip. Towards any other spaces that you notice this stretch happening for you. Take your time here. When you're ready, you can walk the hands through center for about 3 or 4 breaths here. Feel free to fold as much as you need. And then we'll walk the hands over towards the left side. continue to release the head and neck, even with our focus on the lower body. We are very interconnected. Each part affects the other. You're ready, you can lift from this fold. Begin to face your torso through the center and begin to switch whatever leg is in front or on top. And once again, if this is enough for you, having one leg in front of the other or taking your cross-legged position, you can return to that. You can also begin to take your opposite leg on top, coming to that fire log space. And just notice how this side feels. We know if you need a little rock side to side to adjust here, you can. And then from here, we're going to face over the left knee and begin to fold here. Just as much as you can today. Once again, imagining sending your breath to your outer hip area. In those areas needing a little extra love and care today. We're going to walk the hands through the center for a few moments. Taking a pause. And then over to the right side. Great, you can lift up with your next in-breath. Exhale to settle back into the center. And then we're going to take the soles of the feet together here, coming to our butterfly. Might want to wiggle your toes as you begin to then steady them. And just a reminder, your hands can be anywhere that's comfortable, whether it's on your toes, your ankles, or just gently resting on the shins. And we're going to take a fold here as well, stretching forward. Now there's a couple of options here. You can have more of an active fold if you want to keep your spine a little bit more straight. You can also come into a fold where you're rounding the back and neck. And last but not least, you can create more of a diamond shape if it feels better, taking the feet a few more inches forward, maybe even taking your block or both blocks on your feet as you rest your forehead. So whatever feels better for you, we'll take about 5 to 6 breaths here. And you can take that fold in your butterfly. Feel free to rock side to side if you wish to get a little motion here. You can also just stay in stillness. And then you can release any blocks or props you may have used over to the side. And we're going to lift from the fold. And then begin to extend the right leg out, taking and tucking in the left foot. And from here, we're just going to bring hands to the hips and then begin to roll the upper body over towards the right leg that's outstretched. Good. We'll come to the other side. So right foot's going to come in. Left leg is going to stretch out. Always feel free to pause a little more than that I may be leading you through if you need that. Know your body, listen to what it's telling you, but always press pause. Great. We'll begin to lift up from here, and we're going to take this into our tabletop. Bringing knees underneath the hip bones, wrists underneath the shoulders. Just begin by taking hips side to side. Anchoring through each finger. You might even just draw your attention to each finger, noticing the weight underneath each one. Great. And you might begin to send your gaze over the right shoulder, gazing at the outer right hip, and then over the left shoulder, same thing. And we're going to come into our child, bringing big toes together, knees to outer edges of the mat as you reach your arms forward. Forehead can rest on the mat or on a block if you wish. Just allow the heart to melt as much as it can today. The low back will sink down, hips towards the heels. And it's okay if your hips don't touch the heels, that's okay. Breathe towards the back body, look sideways. Just settle in here. Allow yourself to be completely supported. There's floor or earth underneath you. You might even recall your intention. When you're ready, you can lift the forehead. Begin to walk the hands back as you draw the knees back underneath your hips. And from here, I invite you to stretch the right leg out and extend it behind you. You might point, flex, roll your ankle. And then you're going to drop the top of the foot down. Begin to curl that foot, taking it all the way over to the left side. And then begin to send your foot over to the right side. So you're kicking it out to the side. From here, you're just going to lift the upper body, extend, open the arms, and I'll face you for this as well so you can see. So extend, open the arms, right leg, nice and kicked out. And then we're going to send a side stretch over to the right side. Good. We'll windmill this over, stack the arms here, lift through the top hip. You might lift your gaze. You might notice the stretch happening in the hips. And then we're going to send both hands down and begin to draw your right knee back underneath your right hip. So from here, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So left leg is going to extend back. Once again, you may wish to point, flex, or roll your ankle. And then we're going to take the left toes over towards the right side. And then we'll kickstand the left foot all the way out to the side. So once again, I'll come to face you. So left leg extends over. We're standing up on our right knee and arms are going to open and extend out. And then we'll send that stretch over to the left side. Rooting down through the sole of the left foot, the right knee. And then we'll rotate this over to the other side. So right hand comes down to the mat, left arm is going to stack right on top, and continue to lift through the outer left hip. Great, both hands are going to come down, and then we're just going to draw that left knee right underneath the left hip point. Feel free to take hips side to side once again. And then hands can stay on the mat for this, or they can reach for your blocks. We're going to send the left foot forward, coming to our low lunge. And once you get to low lunge, you're going to root down through the front foot, press down through the hips as much as you can today where it's not strained, where you can notice that stretch. And then you might begin to bring your hands to the top of your front thigh. You might even sit a little deeper here. Breathe. Great. From here, hands can come to the blocks or your mat. As you bring both hands on the inside of your front foot, toe heel your foot to the outer edge of your mat. And then once again, you're going to just take the hips back for a moment and then sit the hips forward, coming a little deeper here. And I invite you to do that one more time. Taking the hips back, this time taking them a little bit more back where you can draw your front toes towards you. Right? And it's almost like your right hip is coming to your right heel. Rock that forward again. Do that one more time on your own. Sending the hips back. And then rocking them forward. Great. Now I'm going to invite you, you're welcome to stay here. I'm going to invite you to also roll onto the pinky side edge of your front foot. So that's just going to deepen that stretch into your hip flexors. And you can stay nice and tall here, nice and lifted, or you can release down to your forearms. Take a few moments here. Deep breaths. Noticing any sensation here, noticing any areas that need your attention. And ushering in as much as you can mentally that state of peacefulness and presence. Great. If you're folded on the forearm, you can lift back. One more option here. If you wish, you can take your left hand to your left hip, press into the right palm, and get a little bit of a twist here, a little bit of deepening in this stretch. And then we'll bring both hands back to blocks or the mat. Roll back slowly onto the sole of the front foot. And then we're going to step this foot back. And just take a moment here to send your hips towards your heels, stretching the arms forward, and then coming right back into table. So from here, we'll take the right foot forward, hands framing this foot, coming to our low lunge, dropping and releasing the hips, extending through your heart space and your gaze. And if you wish, you can bring hands to your front thigh. Lovely. We'll take this form, send the hands down, bring them to the inside of your front foot, and toe heel your foot to the outer edge of your mat. Pause for a moment. You might sit the hips a little deeper. You might get a half rock back in the hips, and then a rock forward. And then this time a full rock back, drawing your front toes towards you, Sending that left hip to the left heel. And doing that 1 or 2 more times on your own. As you settle back forward, you're welcome to stay here, but then also roll onto the inside edge of your front foot as you flex the foot, opening a little more from the hip, and feel free to fold towards your forearms. One more breath. And feel free to lift from your hold if you took that option. One more option here. Right hand can come to the top right hip. You might take a little twist. Great. Both hands come down. Slowly roll back to the sole of the front foot. And then begin to shift this foot back behind you, knees under hips. And then you can send the hips back 1 more time as you reach the arms forward. And you might even come to a full child's here, resting the forehead. If you wish, you can journey the hands over to the right side. A couple of breaths. And then over to the opposite side for a couple of moments. When you're ready, we'll begin to come right back through the center. Shift the hips forward. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders here. From here, I'm going to invite you once again to bring excuse me, your left foot forward on the outside of your hands. But this time, as you move here, you're going to go heel your foot all the way to the other side of the mat, moving into pigeon. So your front left knee is on the outside of your left wrist. Your back foot and leg are going to extend. You'll uncurl the toe. You might even check in with your foot that it's not supporting to the left or right. And then you can begin to fold here. Now, a couple of options if you need support under your left outer hip, you can put a block, a blanket, or a pillow there. You can also fold over a block, pillow, or blanket. And just begin to settle in here. And the pigeon is a little bit too intense for you today. One other option you can take is a sleeping swan. And you'll do this instead of the knee coming externally rotated, you're going to point the left knee forward. So it's almost like your knee is pointed straight forward, and then you can begin to fold to the inside of that leg. Either one of these ones is welcome. We'll be here for several breaths. Always a reminder, especially in these deeper pools, these longer holds. be with whatever comes for you. Brace and next. And if your mind starts to wander or tell yourself stories, use that as an opportunity to bring your attention back to mindfulness, back to this moment, back to your breath, and support the movement, back to your intention. Know that we are always available to you. You're ready, and curl the back toes under, lift the back knee up, and then begin to shift gently your front knee back. Now, if you wish, you can take a table and extend the left leg back, maybe even draw a couple of circles with the left leg. Get any kinks out. And taking your time when you're ready, we'll take this to the other side. So right foot comes forward, and then you're going to toe heel the split over to the left side, drawing your right knee to the outside of your right wrist, and then taking your left leg straight back, checking in with your toes, but they're pointed straight back. Or taking your variation of sleeping swan with your right knee instead of on the outside, pointed straight forward. And then you can begin to fold. At any point you need to rest from your fold, always know you have that option. You can always return to your child's when you need that. See your form. He's listening with me. You're in the today. Remembering this is your practice. And it doesn't have to look the same as anyone else or as any other day. Great. We're going to curl the back toes under, lift off the back knee, and then just begin to draw your right knee underneath you. If you'd like to stretch it back out and maybe get some circles in that back leg. So we're just going to sit back on the heels for a moment, coming into a hero's. Hands coming to the tops of the thighs as you reach down at the head. Full breath in and out. If you need a counter wrist stretch at all, there's a couple of ways you can do that. One is just to press into the tops of the hands on the mat. The other is to extend each arm and do that same motion, just applying that gentle pressure from the opposite hand. And then rolling wrists out. Great. So from here, we're going to make our way to our back body. And as you settle in on your back body, begin to draw the soles of your feet on the mat. Feel free to use any props you need underneath you. And then begin to windshield wiper knees side to side. The left to the right. Feel free to pause your knees for a couple of moments on one side and then the other. And then you might begin to draw your knees in towards the belly. Feel free to give them a little hug, maybe a little rock side to side. And you might even draw circles with your knees, either both at the same time, or you can do one at a time. Good. When you're ready, you can release the sole of the left foot down to the mat. And I invite you to begin to reach for the outer edge of your right foot. And then bringing your right elbow on the inside of your right knee, you're just going to take that foot out a couple of inches, coming to a half happy baby. If you wish, you can also extend your left leg long on the mat in front. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Move her through both hips. Breathe towards the belly. And we'll begin to draw right knee through the center, giving it a hug in. You might even wish to take your right knee over to the left side, doing a little bit of a twist. And then we'll bring that knee back through the center. If it's not there already, you can draw the sole of the left foot to the mat, cross the right ankle over the left knee, and then begin to lift the left foot off the mat as you weave your hands around the back of your left thigh. Lovely. You can release the left foot down, uncross the right ankle, press into the sole of the right foot. And then I invite you to reach for the outer edge of your left foot, taking half happy baby on this side. Elbow comes to the inside of the left knee as you extend that foot just a couple of inches out. And if you wish, you can stretch your right leg straight out on the mat in front of you. When you're ready, you can draw your left knee back to the center, give it a hug, and then perhaps extend it over to the right side, coming to your twist. here, you can draw your knee through the center. If it's not there already, draw the sole of the right foot back to the mat. Begin to cross the left ankle over the right knee, and then weave your hands around the back of the right thigh as you lift your right foot off the mat. When you're ready, you can release the right foot down, uncross the ankle, and then begin to reach for one of your blocks or your block. If you don't have a block, that's okay. You can use a pillow, or you can continue this in its active form, which I'll show you. So soles of the feet come to the mat, knees pointed up, heels are about hips distance apart, and then we're going to move into our bridge by shifting the hips up a couple of inches. You might even intertwine the fingers beneath the low back, or just keep them at the sides. A couple of breaths in and out. Great. Slowly release each vertebrae, release the hips back down. Now you're welcome to do that again. You're also welcome to take your block underneath you, lifting the hips, taking the block on the low or medium setting, and allowing your sacrum to rest down on the block. We'll be here for a few moments, doing a supported bridge. If at any point you wish to just explore extending one or both legs into the air, you're always welcome to. You can always hold your block for support. And at your time, you can begin to lift the hips, lift the heels if you need to, and remove the block to the side, lower the hips slowly back down. Great, we're going to just windshield wiper the knees side to side again. And then you might come into a butterfly here, drawing soles of the feet together. If you need blocks underneath your knees for extra support, you can place them there. And hands can get the sides, over your belly, or over your heart, or one over belly, one over. We'll take a few moments here. You might even just explore your breath here. Maybe you explore one of the ones we did in our earlier practices, such as your counting breath. Breathing in perhaps a slow count of 4, and be out with slow count 5 or 6. Or a count that feels right. You might extend your breath towards your belly, practicing your belly breath or your ocean breath. You might even practice your lotus breath by bringing your pinkies and thumbs together, creating that lotus shape at your heart or towards the forehead. And when you're ready, I invite you to draw the soles of the feet back towards the mat. And come into a psoas release form. You're going to walk the feet over to the edges of the mat and allow your knees to fall in towards one another. And your toes can be facing forward or they can be pointed slightly inward. Take several moments here, several breaths. Make good space for this release. And you're welcome to stay here if you're comfortable here. If you would like, you can also take your traditional Shavasana with arms and legs outstretched, or a supported variation using your stacked blankets or your stacked pillows underneath your knees. So to do that, you would just take your props in front of you, whichever ones you're using, and then begin to take your legs on top, allowing the support to truly be underneath the base of your knees. And then you can begin to settle yourself back down onto your mat and allow this supportive posture to be your place of rest today. Whichever form you choose, just begin to settle in as we make space for rest. Take your time here to steady your breath. To settle the back body. To allow your legs to be supported. To release any tension you find between your eyebrows. To soften your facial muscles. And release your jaw away from the roof of your mouth. Allow your shoulders to be heavy. Your heart space open and free. Your belly soft and unrestricted. Your arms and legs completely supported. Hands and fingers, feet and toes at ease. And as we prepare for this sacred space of rest, I'll be reading The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. You can picture what this means to you as your mind steadies and lulls, or you can just allow your mind to be lulled away into a place of rest, letting it be background as you breathe and be. The peace of wild things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests, in his beauty on the water, and where the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, And I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For this time I rest in the grace of the world and am. Invite you to slowly begin to deepen your breath. Feel free to pause this recording if you need a little more time. And if you choose to move forward, you are welcome to pick any motion that's comfortable to you, such as wiggling fingers and toes, or taking your head slowly side to side. You're welcome to stay as you are for several more moments, or if you prefer, you're welcome to turn over to either side of your body to rest your ear on your arm and cradle around your heart space. And as you become ready, you can guide yourself back to a comfortable seated position as we draw our hands together at heart center. And I invite you to take a final full breath in here and slow breath out. Take a moment to recall any intention, heart focus, or point of gratitude you set for your practice today. Recall any benefits of your practice, whether internal or external. And then reflect on how you can take these with you on your journey off the mat. And I thank you once again for sharing in this practice with me today. I look forward to joining you next time. And grace and peace be with you always. Shalom and namaste.